Hey, thanks for coming and checking out the channel, everyone. Today we're going to go ahead and get into the back nine of Benbrook Disc Golf Course in Leander, Texas. And again, my name is Chris, and I'm your aerial caddy. Hole 10 is a par 4, and off the tee it looks a little bit intimidating with this gap that you need to hit because there's a mando on this tree and you want to be to the right of that tree. The fairway does open up pretty wide once you get around the corner, but you also want to end up either straight ahead of you or maybe a little bit to the left because the pin is pinched around to the right about 45 degrees from where the tee is standing. Now everything on the left side in that tree line, there is a creek right there. It's full of OB, and there's natural OB if you end up anywhere to the right. So as you approach, get something that lands a little bit flat and stick it on this green because you can go into the water very easily. Now that same creek that you just saw on hole 10 is on the left side of hole 11's fairway here. It's not too much of a worry unless you were to clip one of these branches. You could easily fall down into the creek, and obviously that's OB. You can play out to the right as well and play around it, but it's a very short hole, so a straight shot with a putter or mid-range is probably your best bet. Hole 12 is a very narrow fairway all the way down to the basket, and there are trees that pinch in down here to make it even more narrow as you close in to the basket. But if you keep something straight down the middle, it's pretty straightforward. The left is gel, the right is gel. You just want to keep it anywhere on this fairway that you can and get up here around this corner. The basket is tucked a little around to the right from the fairway, so just keep pushing down the fairway, and if you can hug the left side a little bit, it's even better. Hole 13 has a very tight gap right off the tee. The name of the game on this is get something flat and stable out there. If you hit this gap and you get something flat and aim at that biggest tree straight ahead here on the camera, you should fade right around to the basket and get a little skip towards it, or even if you have just an air shot, you're going to put yourself somewhere around circle's edge to give yourself a putt. If you try to force it hyzer around the corner, you're more than likely going to end up to the left behind those trees. Main trouble on this hole is this tree line in front of you and behind the basket. That same creek that's been running through the entire time is behind the basket, maybe 10 feet. There is plenty of airspace on the top left. If you play the top right side, you might have to crash into the trees and let it drop down, but if you go around to the left, you can stall something out and put yourself right next to the base of this basket. If you pay attention to the T sign, it shows OB on the entire right side. Well, as you look in this drone footage, everything on the right side where the tall grass is that line that is OB. There are flags there, but just in case they're missing, just know that the tall grass is OB, the short grass is where you want to be. Now, the tee pad points directly at the OB, so you got to get something that's kind of high and pushing if you're trying to get to land anywhere down the fairway. Stone markers on the ground are there to show you how far you have to go to the basket because you can't see it once you actually are on the fairway unless you're on the very right side. It's kind of tucked in here a little ways, but if you pay attention to the OB where it pinches in at the end, the basket is just short of that and to the left. Hole 16 here, pretty point and shoot, straight ahead. You can't go to the right of that big tree because there is a mando on it to the left, but also on the left side, that same creek running through the entire place is lining the entire left side of this fairway. This mulch can get a little skippy if you get something on edge, so if you take a mid-range, just toss it straight as you possibly can, get it to land flat. You really shouldn't worry about landing anywhere in that creek. Hole 17 doesn't have a Mando, but it might as well be because there is a gap that you want to hit. These two trees that are coming up here, well, the right is more of the tree line, but this one singular tree on the left here and the right side kind of make a natural Mando that you're going to want to throw through. The left side is absolutely terrible if you end up in there, and there is the creek. And behind this basket, you also have a little pond that the creek kind of feeds into. So, keep it down the middle. It's the name of the game. I always love ending my round on par 4s, and this par 4 may be one of my favorite that I've ever played. Right off the tee, you have a tree that's directly in front of you, so you're either taking a left or the right route, forehand, backhand, lefty, righty, whichever way you throw. Then you have two more trees that are mid-fairway that you also have to pay attention to put yourself in the perfect little landing zone, which just happens to be right past the trees. And then you have this creek here that runs across. It has this bridge, and that's 320 and 190 to the pin, but you have a gap that you need to take or go over the top to an elevated basket with OB to the left and natural OB if you end up long, and to the right, of course, is the creek. It's just a great hole, and I love the way this course finishes up. I've been slacking on getting courses up soon, but I will get a next course up very soon. So, if you enjoyed this content, please subscribe, and thanks for checking out the channel. Again, my name is Chris, and I'm your aerial caddy. Take care. Keep chasing those chains.